All right. I should have made a link earlier in the week. I apologize about that. And I made one today for the show. And so I'm sure it'll take you a minute to show up. My apologies. I just been hard at work on kind of coming up with what to discuss today. So happy you made it. Happy you're here. And I'm sorry I didn't get practical and make the link beforehand. So uh, anyway, um, that's why it'll probably take a minute to populate here, people and so on. Anyway, good to have you here. Happy Sunday. God bless you. And can you hear me? That's all. All right, Pam. Oh, you say greetings so you can hear me. All right, Pam. Hey, listen, thank you for the support, really. This work is exhausting and to have your support is really helpful. Thank you. Uh I couldn't do without it. So really, thank you. Um I'm gonna this I titled this practical spirituality because I think that's what we need to get into, just a real practicality of the whole thing. Just this is what works, this is what doesn't work, this is why. Just to make our day to day easier. And also to have it grounded in the information of the script too. Jamie, good. I'm glad you're here. I'm gonna talk about some important practical stuff today, practical spirituality, how to work with, when you work with God, how do you do it? Practical. Gonna do practical today. Okay. So, uh, fantastic. I forgot where I was going, there. And Alan, good, good. Uh, I just wanted to make sure that I wait a minute before I got into this. Interesting. So I'm gonna read a little bit from Mir Baba uh, today, and we'll just get into a couple things because we have to keep it practical. That's what I want to focus on, practicality. So, and a lot of people are going through a bunch of stuff that I want to give valuable information on, so that you're not taken advantage of as you proceed forward on a spiritual path that my goal is to help, be a guide. Hey, don't put your hand in the crocodile's mouth out there. That totally looks like a cool animal. It does not want to be petted, right? Don't stick your hand in there. Just like that, like, hey, we're going up river on the jungle cruise. Don't stick your hands out. Like that. So I want to be that practical with the information. So, which has to come in 2 parts, right? One part, it's like, "Hey, this is why you need to overcome this particular programming that we're relied to." And then B, right? 1, 2, 2, then say, "Hey, this is the truth, and this is how you handle it. This is how you use it." So, okay. Uh, so let's go through. I wanna do a couple readings. Anything comes up for people, your feedback is the reason I do this is trying to help people. So I don't want to, like, your feedback is extremely valuable. That's all I'm saying, whatever it is. So, um, I'm going to read a couple of pieces from Mayor Baba that I hope get at what I want to get into this week. Let's see. Okay. We're going to start here. I started looking up, like, oh, did Bear Mama say three-quarters of the world's gonna die, and what's up with that, right? I was like, oh, yeah, there's some mention of something about that, right? Anyway, there's some uh counter website that's like, he never said that. Da, da, da," you know what I mean? Like, and that was interesting to me because one of the quotes I found in this uh was during Mir Baba's travels, they ran into a mast, M-A-S-T, right? And this must name was Jala Tapasvi, Tapasvi. Anyway, and this is a quote in 1946 that the bus says to them upon meeting them, right? The wars and disturbances will so this is, hey, uh, the war just had no more wars. No, but this guy says right after the war, right after World War II, he says, these wars and disturbances will continue, and three-quarters of humanity will be wiped out. For how can the people from hell mix with the people from heaven? Those from hell must be wiped out. And this is on page 3123 in Lord Mayor. So, and this guy pausing off says, "Oh, must say crazy stuff." That's like, oh, wait, what? Anyway, so, but in that quote, the second part is really, the people of heaven and hell can't mix. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say. And it says so succinctly there. Mike, glad you made it. Okay. So I'm taking you through that. We're gonna do some practical stuff today. Anything you have to say, Mike, is interesting, of course. Now, as I read from Mayor Baba, which is part of the script, yes, Mayor Baba's writings are part of the script, as is the Bible, the Quran, the writings of Buddha, everything, really everything is the script. Even if it came after 1969, it was already pre-planned to be the script again. All things a script. So it's like scriptures, they're pretty scriptures just the script about spirituality and God and stuff. It's just like a particular area of the script, scripture. So it's really important to, I think, look at this very short explanation of scripture written, written by Mayor Baba, and I bet you've good to have you, Mike. And I bet you've all read this, but actually, I'm gonna go over it so you really see it clearly for what it's saying correctly. Okay, and this is our Mayor Baba Nayati. Uh, in February 1958, Francis Babajan wrote to Mayor Baba saying that he was reading the scriptures of various religions to help him write his book, Stay with God, A Statement in Illusion or Reality. Baba writes back, quote, the scriptures are like rotten bones, rotted, and as food for worms. Theosophy and philosophy are like good bones, rotted, and are as food for vultures. The writings of inspired poets are like fresh bones, and are as food for dogs. The writings of spiritually advanced saints are like flesh, and are as food for tigers. The writings by living perfect masters are like brain, and are as food for men. Good bones, when rotted, have some semblance of bone, but rotten bones, when rotted, are like filth. So you may go through the scriptures superficially, only to drive away the barking dogs when necessary. For instance, when you are called upon to answer the queries of the priests and the Orthodox. So, one thing you may not have noticed the first time you read this is like a chart of enlightenment. You know what I mean? The worms, the vultures, the dogs, the tigers, the men. You see what I'm saying? It's also, you know, you can see everything is written by Mayor Baba. All the thread of in answers and stuff is always about the advancement of consciousness towards Christ consciousness. That's all he's ever writing about. And so that's what, did you realize the scripts are BS? You know what I mean? Like, hey, did you realize that yet? So, and no one wants to hear that who's in a religion or comes to, all right, Jay, good to have you. Sorry I didn't create a link for this earlier. It's really my fault that you're showing up late, so my apologies for that. Uh, I come to what I was going to talk about, right before the thing come on today, and I really wanted to be practical about how I did it and stick with that. So, but my apologies that you're in here late. It's totally my fault. It's not yours. So, but good to have you. So I'm reading a couple things from Mayor Bob to get started, and I'm going to go into some practical, non-scripture, just talk about how to deal with that situation. Okay. Another thing I want to write here read from Bear Baba is again it's Bear Baba Nayani, and it's just a part of a quote that they left, but it's the very last thing. It's dictated by Bear Baba in 1967, and it's a very simple little thought. Christhood means occupying the throne of God the Father. Adam became Christ when he, the first soul, ended his journey from unconsciousness in the Garden of Eden to infinite consciousness in paradise. You see, we're going from the Garden of Eden to paradise. I mean, it's two names in the same place. Or the journey is back to God. And but we're not, separate from the Father and just doing our Father's works as an angel. You see what I'm saying? We're not separate. We come to occupy the throne, the same place. So we're one with God. You see, that's again a discussion of the advancement of consciousness there, and that's it is the past quote when I was talking about scripture, Rada Bose. Okay, so it will we go for these both are about kind of the same thing. Rada Bose, Rada food for worms. Okay, so no value there. The scriptures are like Rada Bose. Theosophy and philosophy are like good bows rotted, they're food for vultures. You know what I mean? That's who we have to deal with, the fallen angels, the vultures here, right? Uh, they know about theosophy and philosophy, and they're the talkers and all that stuff, right? So, and these are the bottom feeders. These are the fallen angels. These are the one running the show that he's talking about here. Rays of inspired poets, well, who were they inspired by, right? Are like fresh bows as food for dogs. Dogs is God spelled backwards, so they're still backwards. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so because inspired poets, they get their inspiration from the script. So it's they're just hearing from the script. The writings of spiritually advanced saints are like flesh and are as food for tigers. These tigers can be man eaters. You become a problem when you're spiritually advanced saint. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know every little detail, like the whole thing's fake. I only come to that when I hit the seventh play. What? And after 7 years, huh? So the writings of by living perfect masters are like brain errors, food for men. What you know, man doesn't live by bread alone, and so that's the food you need. You need the knowledge, right? For the brain. You need information, you need knowledge, and only perfect master who's alive can give it to you. That's what he says right here. That's a hierarchy, this listening right there. You see what I'm saying? So uh and the hierarchy leads to Christhood. In other words, at the end of the seventh play, that's Christhood. That's why okay. So that's why I read that part. Now, uh last thing I want to touch on here is this is near the end of Obama's life, right? Okay, so we're in July 1968. He's ill, or right before his, gets severe and then he dies. That's the part. Okay, so this is before that, at 68 and dies at 69. So early as 69, and this is in July. So you see, we're getting there. Not too many quotes from him uh, past these days. Uh, anyway, so this is from July 30th, 1968. My work is done. It is completed 100% to my satisfaction. The result of this work will also be 100% and will manifest from the end of September. Isn't that interesting? He didn't say the end of September 1968, which was coming up, but it was the next September. He didn't say it's September 11th, so he knows what's up. Uh, if you know what to look for, you could just read. It's just said. Everything in the script is just said. What's up? What's going on? So Bible says we cannot know the time of the end. No, it doesn't say that. You see what I'm saying? That's what. No, it says let's pull it up because I've talked about this. We get to see this because what it says is no one knows of the day. It doesn't say when. It says no one knows of the day. And I say that. I say I know when it is, but what's going to happen that day? I know who's coming. Jesus Christ is coming. I know that. I know that the Omega Man is coming. And you're not going to see him here physically, reality. Like we're going to go into the ether where the only place you can see him is, and it'd be like, oh, sweet, I won the game. It's like, the the overloading of bliss, which you can't, you know, have happen in the body happens completely. When you get joined up with God again, you're like, oh, this is my only nature that exists. Period. What was that other stuff? I forgot it. And you're looking down at the ball down there, like, oh man, that's already happened. Okay. And you're like home again. And it's, this stuff that we're doing here was like a little blip that sort of didn't happen. Sort of it did happen, but it didn't happen. It's a very since time doesn't exist outside the dome, it's a paradox that's just natural out there when you don't have a body, but it's unnatural in here where there is time. So anyway, what part of the scripture is that? Let's see. I'm gonna look that up. Let's do that. Matthew 24:36. Here we go. Yes, so easy and fiery. We're gonna go KJ version, not New King. King James Bible. Here we go. 24 Matthew 24:36. King James Bible. But of the day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. I'm one with my Father, so I know. And so it said it does say when. It says but of the day. Don't say when. And the hour, I don't say what hour. I say I don't know the hour. I don't know the hour. I know the day. I know that I know when the day is. I don't know of the day. Of these, what's going to happen and stuff that day. I don't know. I don't know. I'm the messenger of, hey, this is what's going to happen. I'm not the guy that's going to do it like that. I'm telling you clearly, there's already a character God has picked out. He's a guide, Jesus Christ. So you see everywhere on they nailed to his board how you know what a message of life, but it's true. And so I just but I'm a messenger. I'm not like, yes, I have Christ consciousness, but it's so mixed up, to find out what that is. Christ should just means you're one with the Father. That's all it is you occupy the throne of the Father. There's no separation between you and God, which is so impossible here, physically, that it's just constantly just it's impossible to describe to anyone. Uh, it's God's holding me together with, duct tape or whatever. That's the only explanation. I just try and walk around, do whatever I do during the day. I'm living and breathing because God just determined that's going to happen. That's the reason. So I try and keep my health together. Don't get me wrong, I do, but you know, if they're not supposed to go together. Like you don't see Jesus Christ here, you don't see Buddha here, you don't see God here walking around. You see what I'm saying? Like he enters like a character in here reunites with the source of what where we come from. And that's what happens. And that's the only thing that happen for anyone. So and then that individual is, left here to describe it and try and help practically with everyone's else ability to achieve that. That's all. That's it's just this practical spiritual, ladder, how to get there. So the fallen angels know the day. They do. They do know the day. They know the day. I know they know the day and the times everywhere. But the hour, apparently that day, stuff happens on that day that's different, than like that part of the script has some uh ambiguity is the word wrong word. Uh not ambiguity. It has some let's say parameters within which it's allowed to operate. It's with you know things available that can happen that day. Because you know what if nothing changed on the day? You know what I'm saying? That would mean there's actually no free will. And you would dishearten the troops instantly forever. You know what I mean? What Nothing ever, literally nothing changes. No, the outcomes never change. It can never be 12 get there. No, 12 get there every time. You know what I'm saying? Like there has to be some variance, or you go crazy up in here. You know what I'm saying? It would just be so humdrum nothing. Nobody be on their toes ever. And it wouldn't work out for, the Disney characters would be just doing whatever they want forever. And they do the exact opposite. They do their character role. Yes? So, Jack, I told a cop that on Christmas Day and he read back the script, the Matthew wrote, I'm telling you, people have no idea how exactly this place is run. You see what I'm saying? They have given parameters and they know everything that's going on. They just know every. How can you be the Disney characters of Disney and not know what's going on? That would that would be like saying God's a dumb idiot. Hey, you be Disney characters, but I'm not going to tell you anything. What? What the hell? And that's why all the superhero movies we have superpowers. They just know what's up. And yeah, they got superpowers from God to run the show and make the game what it is. Compass Nona guy, yeah. They appear in form that you will respond to. You, Jay. So you see, they're serving you. He's serving you. He's like my pet, but he is pretty pleasant. That's what I'm saying. He's there to serve you, and you should be praying for him. One practical thing you do as you interact with them and to their face. I mean, I pray for you to get your feathers and wings, or hey, hold me up and I pray for your death. What? I know who I am. You know who I am. You know my prayers work. And I notice that me just asking nicely does the opposite of you treating me nicely. So that's not going to work out. So let's just get right to it. That way everybody knows who everybody is. Let's just stop the stuff. You know what I mean? Because you look like a roadblock over there. If you're a roadblock, everything could just go, oh, here's my keys. And I go over to get the car, and the services are great. Thanks. Bye. They get your feathers and wings, and off I go. Boom. There ain't no praying for death or nothing. They knew I was coming. They did it. Yay. The opposite crew, opposite prayers. That's it. Practical. That's it. You told them exactly. So they know everything, the ones that have been serving us right along. How are they going to advance spiritually? Because we are advancing spiritually. You are in here. That's going to leave slots they help to advance. They're trying to advance. How are they going to advance unless they interact with you? And, you know, you, which is a test every time. And so they come along for a test. So you pray for them. They're like, okay, great. And they're like, hey, check, J number, infinity times infinity times infinity, whatever the number is, I don't know, or whatever, however they mark us down as a character, our real name, I don't even know. But, you know, it gets totaled up. And so it's like, oh, hey, pass the test. You get tested again. Many, just not like one test for one thing, but the test, it goes over and over until, you realize you could just pray for them as you get there and be like, hey, silently, since they're still reading your minds and everything. Yes, pray they earn their feathers and wings. You could do that. And they understand that that's a deeper understanding and a deeper way to pass the test too. You know what I'm saying? So you could pray for them and then silently before you get there, and then do it out loud as a courtesy gesture for them too. And then they treat it as such. Oh wow, that was very courteous of you. I read your mind on the way in. I read your mind on the way in. And so it's like a courtesy to for me to say it out loud. Because what? They are courteous. They have the success of their Disney character working for us. It's courteous of them because to talk to each other, they don't need to say a word. They don't. They don't need to talk. And so they do that as a courtesy for us. So you see what I'm saying? It's our way of saying, I understand you're a servant. And so, it's sort of, like you're not in the army, but when you salute somebody in the army, it's like, hey, no, I'm totally cool with your thing over there. And so you're like, hey, you speak to them, they earn your feathers and wings after you pray for them too already. And they're like, oh, wow, this, okay. That's like a double pass to the chest. They're like, and they take that as, well, what's the reason for life that you move forward spiritually? So, they grow a heart in that process of you advancing. It's like, when you have a child and out on the soccer field or whatever, oh look, he made a good kick. It's like when you won the championship in the Super Bowl and stuff. And he used to be on that little he used to be five. I saw him at 5 years old playing football, but now he won a Super Bowl. And you're like, hey, here's my Super Bowl ring. And you're like, oh. And they grow a heart. You see what I'm saying? In the process from their work, and so you responded to them. Hey, thanks for getting me here. But for real, the prayers are real. Earn your feathers and wings. You done it. Thanks. So they were both really happy and wanted to pray for hope. Exactly, because they know it's real, and they know, oh, you know it's real, so you got there. That's what I'm saying. Hey, you won the Super Bowl. Yes, high five. What? The whole team gets it. One knows. They all know. Oh, Mike, feel so blessed. I was gifted my first Bible for Christmas. Oh, first ever in my life. Thank you all for the prayers, everyone. Jay Welch also, yeah. No, it's tough. You gotta go through the scripts to see the errors in them as the truth of them, and then you like need to form a one-on-one relationship with God yourself. That's what Jesus did. He prayed to God the Father, and he became the Christ. That's what we need, a one-on-one relationship with God. That's the way it works. So, you know, it's has to do definitely with the way it's written down, but the practicality of it is meant the scriptures are meant to not tell it all. So the search for someone who has, you know, who's one with the Father, who's one with God, who knows it without looking at a book and knows the actual thing behind everything. There you go. Oh, okay. Because there would be no search for that individual either, right? They'd be like, oh, there's books. The book says this. What? And what ain't gonna do it, Because the books are laid down as spiritual advancement to a certain place, but then from there, what happens? You see what I'm saying? Then you got to look for proof. Who's got the proof that they're not dying in the name of God and are out there doing practical work, helping people? That's all there is, you know. Who's doing that? Who's trying to get us unslaved up here to the bankers? That's what Jesus. You're like, because you read it's like, yeah, okay, Jesus, whatever. Oh, You flip the money tables in the bank, and you're like, okay, I like this guy, But who's doing that? You see, and who makes it so other people could do that in a practical, easy, everyday way? You have to look for those things. Like if you're looking at these stories of God and what to look for in God, you have to look to who's doing that. And you properly did and looked at my proof. And then I say, yeah, no, I'm not like the guy that's going to set you free. Is no, we all get set free. I'm not saying I'm unlimiting the story of Jesus Christ. He's the one guy that's going to. No, he's Alpha and Omega. He's totally coming here. And he opens the game. He's closing it. Oh, gonna be big. You know what I'm saying? And if you already met with him, you'll be meeting with him again. Fantastic. If you haven't, keep up your work. Uh, but that's the people that have met with him and are in this body are just here to. They're chosen to physically exist in the body as an example that it can happen, and they're here. You can answer questions and live a life, and they're like a living, breathing example of what actually happens. So you can speak to them, test them yourself. Like, those individuals got tested by the whole of the team and everything. Either I am or I'm not. That's why I say, hey, God, please murder me if I'm not, the guy that has this information and knowledge. Because I'm saying it's practical and you need to get it yourself too. I'm not saying any of this is outside of anyone's ability. I don't think their mama said that either. I don't think Jesus said it either. So I honed in on the practicalness of it. That you just, it's a process you go through to be one with God, and you can't do it in one. It's like you have to play chess on the 64, right? 64 squares on the chess, but you have to play the game. You see what I'm saying? You can't go, oh, there's God. Think I won. Yes. You can't do that, that you didn't play chess, you know what I'm saying? And that's the same with the spiritual advancement. It's like a checkerboard, chessboard that goes on infinite squares, infinite, and they're tiny, tiny pixels, smaller than an atom. This whole thing is like that. That's all this is, right? It's a game board. The whole thing, this whole place under the dome. Until you see the dome, you're like, you know, this place is cool. There must be something great around this next corner. No, it's more of the same. Sun goes up, goes down. Dome spins. Blip. That's it, Tiger. Tiger in a cage. So okay, so I brought up these things to set, you know, these scriptures aren't going to help us. You see what I'm saying? They can give us some information. I've tried to extract the information from these scriptures for on your behalf. I already know the truth. You see what I'm saying? I'm doing this to try and seize onto the programming that I can't untangle from without God's help. Show you what I'm saying isn't untrue with any of that, with any of this. It's not untrue with what Mayor Mama said, what Jesus said, with Mama. I'm in sync with all that. I think it's important to say I'm not in opposition to that. I'm not in opposition to the game. I'm not in opposition to the dome. No, this is like, in 9 months, a baby comes out. That's how long it takes. And then after that is no, that's when it comes out. You see what I'm saying? So there's a timing to it. There's an advancement to it, and you know, I get to help with that. God is the one that makes it happen. Like before somebody says, "Oh, that's my child over there," it's like, yeah, well, it's good you feel that way. Your heart's 100% invested, and it should be. But really, we're God's children, so I mean, really, but it's you should care 100% all the way like that. Of course, yes, but the reality is, I mean, God is even when you're rejoined with God, He is just like God is unfathomable. This place here, this game is child's play in a way to figure out compared to being linked up with God, and God is impossible to fathom. It's limit. It's so just knowing this little bit is kind of nothing compared to God. This is just a nothing. Yeah, like Bob said, this is kind of nothing. Yeah, this is like, oh, hey, this is how you play chess. The infinite nothing is only has certain things which are important to us, which matter to us progressing on a spiritual path. So protect your king. That's right. Bye bye. Smart, smart. Exactly. God is king. And so our union with God, right, is all that matters, right? Protect the king. So that's how you win it. Like your king is one with God. Great. That's it. That's the only goal is to become one with God. And so that's the only thing to do. That's what the whole kingdom is focused on. Uh, Showing, you see that the Disney characters are all around us all the time, doing everything that needs to happen, running this game, and only us, whether you're a man or a woman, right? You're the king, right? You're the player in the game that matters. Yes, that's you. Uh, that's why they play the whole game, you know that we're in the game and we have to see it's a game, and then they're like, hey, I don't want to play this game anyway. It's a cool game, complex. How do I get out of it? Okay. So I just want to, remove the fog and the vapor of the scripts and the all that, because it's a little bit unnerving. Let's just be honest. Because you were kind of anchored to these anchors of a script, and so it's like you feel afloat in the sea and adrift. You're like, I have nothing to hang on to anymore but God, who's invisible. Uh, and so it's a different feeling. It's things that are new are uncomfortable because they're not the feeling you're used to experiencing. So you're like, oh, this is new, different. So, could potentially, it's not comfortable, meaning it's not something you do all the time. So that's a discomfort. It can be even, you know, better, but still it's new, which it can be cool, or, you know, it can be everything. It can be difficult. It's all the things when you do something new. Yes. So, uh, you either feel it or you don't. So, what I want to get at is to dial us into the practicalities. Yes. When you advance spiritually, you sign the trust. What happens is, oh, you say we're one with God, then they start to test you around you, everyone and everything. So we have to use a test on them, or they waste our time, money, effort, everything. You see what I'm saying? Yes, Jamie. So uh, we need to, use the yardstick of truth, and we need to have proper boundaries. You see, say like 6 feet. That's why I say I'll pray for your death right to your face. You want to pass the test? Hey, okay, earn your feathers and wings, or don't. Or your death. I'll pray for it right now in the name of Jesus Christ. You're blocking me. I work for God. You try to hold up my progress. I work for God. I just told you I work for Jesus Christ. You don't want to do that. I have to call on Him, and I don't have no weapons or anything. I'm Christian. You see, I just pray for you. I know that's it. Simple. And I have no, but I don't care. I don't have enough. Uh, I'm working for God for the service of God. So the ones who aren't serving God, in other words, if you want to hold up my progress, that's your decision. But like I don't know how many ants I stepped on today, and even if you tell me, it don't matter. You know what I mean? You stepped on 13 ants today. It's like, what are you talking about? Everybody steps on ants every day. What? So you died because of my prayers? What? I was working for God. I was trying to help some servant of God. I was actually trying to help them. And you were trying to help them by giving the opposite of truth, so you make their life horrible. Well, I was actually trying to just help them tell the truth or help them with the truth. That's you can't do that. I know that. So move out of my way now. And that's it. You see what I'm saying? So proper boundaries of what's acceptable is what we have in place. Proper spiritual boundaries. That why I'm always harping on proof. Yes. Oh, where's your proof? You're with God. Oh, how are you with God? No, you can say his name. Isn't that a clever little bear trap near the end of the? You know, I did not see that bear trap in the snow. Ow! Like I think I gnawed. Like I think my ankle is my foot still on it? Ow! That's gonna need everything that hospitals do. Ouch! I think I'm gonna pass out now. Maybe I'll wake up in a hospital. That's what they come to just absolutely slow our progress in the most bear trappedest way. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and it never ends until we put the brakes on it on our side. A- You see, saying that proof is the only. That's why I got so dedicated to it because it's like a never-ending wave of humanity until you so click on the proof. Click, oh, check them with the wand. Do you have proof? Nope. Off you go. You have proof? Nope. Off you go. Nope. Off you go. Off you go. Wait a second. Wait a second. We're gonna need like a pre-proof area up there. It's just ridiculous. Like when I started this work, I had did a show on like Blog Talk Radio and stuff like for 2 years. I was out there like, oh man, this I found out some truth, and I know somebody else is gonna do. I'm gonna gather us together, and we're gonna yes, we'll go forward. What? Never met him. You know what I mean? Except for the guy like Christian showed up here the other day, who clued me into trust on the basics on a show I did, and that was that. Uh, the rest of it, God, what a waste of time. Like the whole game is just so staggeringly difficult. So that's what I'm trying to do in this area. Like they just want to like, oh, throw out 100 bear traps. So let's just Jamie's got to go out of the snow sometime. It's Canada. She'll step on one for sure. She's like, turn on the heater. Let's just walk around the bear traps, melt the snow, walk around the bear traps. All right, yeah, now. You know what I mean? Like, no. And so asking for proof. You're with God. You're with Jesus Christ. Yeah, how? How? What do you do? Oh, I can say his name. Man, I don't know. That ain't it. So good preachers. They don't talk about the truth or nothing. What? So what they do is we have heart and they don't. You see what I'm saying? And so they come to prey on our heart, on our soft heart. You see what I'm saying? They come to prey on it. But we already have loved ones that we need to watch out and train them to, you know, watch over their heart and stuff and not be preyed upon, you know? We have to show them by doing it. We don't want to, like how to say it? The Terminators, uh, unless the dog's barking at him, you don't even know it's a Terminator. Coming in and prowls himself. Oh, they exploded and everyone died at our house. Great, that was annoying. You know. So yes, we're like, yeah, just have the see if the dog barks at them, and then just open up. Yeah, no, just I hope you die, calling God's name and not be with God. I hope you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying don't be compassionate. I am compassionate of people that don't have things. But if they're just sitting in a role and never moving forward, if I gave them the truth, then I'd be like, well, I'll pray for you again in the name of Jesus Christ. But after a while, I'll just move by. They're in the same spot on the same, playing board, in the same spot every time. I'll pray silently as I go because I got stuff to do, real stuff every day, and so do you. Is my point. not me, you, whomever. As we do this spiritual work, they are here to test us and slow us down, and ultimately, they're here to speed us up if we're ready for speeded up progress. You see, they say no, just taking the proof and truth, and that's all we're accepting over here. Return to sender, take that one back, return to sender. You see, what I'm saying? So the boundaries we place are very important to our spiritual progress. But every time we meet with God and advance on the spiritual plane, our heart opens up more to God and we have more caring and love in it, and so we're taking advantage of more. That's a natural thing to have happen. So these boundaries are important. But when you actually meet someone with God and stuff, that's different. And if you made progress, then you know what to talk to about. Hey, compadre, I see you're over there on the spiritual path too. I am too. It's not easy, I'm gonna pray for you, and it's surreal. And they're like, "You're gonna pray for me? I need that. Thank you." You know, they want it and they need it, and they know that's how they move forward. So anyway, once we move up the hierarchy, we're somewhere. That means there's a teeming billions beneath us. So many, and then as you move forward, it just seems to grow, into teeming infinity. And the ones that are right there to test you are the best and brightest at that level, because no one else is there. And there you are, and they're there, and they worked hard to get there, and they're very perfectly perfect at what they do. So you have to see your situation for what it is. You're spiritually advancing, and nobody don't need to be slowed down because I don't know what's up and I don't have my boundaries up. No, I'm careful. I see you come in, and you know you're just with God all day, and I don't need to be slowed down because I'm working for God. And ultimately, if you're passing all the tests and stuff, basically they start to leave you alone because they're like, okay, he or she is working with God, and they just let you make your progress as your boundaries get in place properly. They're helping. They're like, you need a fence over here. You know what I mean? They creep running across there. You're like, put up a fence over there, and then they can't run through it. But they're testing you for your benefit. You see what I'm saying? So you put up the fence where it's supposed to be, so that happens to protect your crew. The foxes stay out of the hen house because there's a hen house. That's it. And determining what that is like almost no one's got proof. Look, yeah, I stand alone pretty much. So who's going to come up with you proof they got God? Come on. It's going to be the rarest of things that ever going to happen ever in your lifetime. They never happen. So unless God brings them forward, which that's what happens. You see, it's like this conveyor belt of very few people. Yeah, you're just there to inspect them. Nope, 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 nope. Nip, nip. Like an inspector. Nope, nope, no. Oh my God, no. Super no. Once I was like, well, oh, is this a maybe? That's it, you see? And then any of those, we have our tests, so, we have our experiences, and we're very careful. Can you say the name of God? What have you been doing? What's your name? Let me see your driver's license. Oh, well, I know, just your attempt is testing them. Like, you have been tested to get here. You learned from your testers. Okay, let me test you. These are my boundaries. You see what I'm saying? Can you say that? Who's your God? Oh, what? You're atheist. Okay, check you're out. You know what I mean? Didn't make it fast a person thing. You see, Jamie. I got really defensive when I suspect someone is stealing your work to use it for their own fame and give you zero credit. Yeah, totally, totally. And I don't want you or anyone taking advantage of my work is sold as so on. It is, and they will pay for that from God. God, God knows see what they're doing. And so I am findable. I am even paying more and more, on my advertising budget. I am findable to people. So if people want the non-truth, that's on them. and that's their lifetime, and that's on God. That's not on me. I'm just here to be the lighthouse that you can see. And, I'll be looking at you from the window up here. What do you got down there? Yeah, no, that door doesn't open. So, what's you know what I mean? Like, let's see. So, ultimately, anyone doing this work and claim it as their own, oh man, they suffer. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't go well for them. Like I was like, oh, oh, really? Oh, so I think it's more for me. Uh, I just look at like it's all ravenous wolves around a very small flock of sheep. You know what I mean? Step forward and I say the name of God that you die, wolves, and hopefully, you take a couple thousand with you in the neighborhood, and the rest of the wolves go, oh, I, you know what I mean? What? That's what kind of shepherd I am. Hey, don't touch the sheep or die in the name of God. Okay, we just that what what are you? Now I'll say hi. Hi. Yeah. Okay. Hi. You didn't die. Okay. Cool. Okay. Leave. What? What kind of shepherd you want? So when I don't care, I care. Okay. So that's the practical part I really wanted to address this week. I think it's very important for everyone. There are people with God. That I'm one of them. That need that like without your donations, I'd be uh out of it. I would be out of the race. I wouldn't be achieving my purpose of trying to get more people, which is all I'm trying to do. That's all I'm trying to do. Hey, here's the truth. Now that you know it, make your decisions. That's all you. So thank you for that. So it's really important to be discerning because we only have so much time and energy and help we can give, and so we have to give it in the right direction. And it's we usually have people around us we're stewards for doing this anyway, or cats or any that's us. And so we're taking care of those people anyway, but we only want to take care of the right ones, otherwise the rest of them need to go back out of the lake and swim around and you know God will watch over you because God made you. Off you go. It's on you. Whether you live or die is on God and you. Okay, bye. Swim away. So, okay, that's the main stuff I wanted to touch on this week. Wow, I'm not going to go crazy over with a list of stay here super long and all that. I just really wanted to get practical with this and say this. You have to. Did maybe they don't know about the trust, but they're like if you I'm with God too, and this is how I am. Are they? What's their response? That what? That's super interesting. I've been searching for the truth. You side with God and you don't pay taxes, did you say? What? Come on, let me see that paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Like an actual human be like, what did you don't you let me see your debit card. They'd be like, I'm all over this. What did you just say? You know what I mean? Like that's a normal human reaction, not like, hey, don't it's like, oh, thanks. We have different like filters, you know, we put up. So the air is clean when it gets to the other side. Okay, you can breathe now on this side of the filter. Keep them over there. All right. We're on this side of the veil, right? You have to go through the veils to God. Well, you're over here and keep the veils there for them. So you don't have to hear from them, don't have to breathe the same air and all that stuff. Stay over there. Go on. Unless I need you. I'll step over and let you know. Truth of Jesus Christ, God shall set your soul free. Yes. Truth of what he did, right? What he did made him Christ. Flipped the tables of the bankers, went into the temples like, hey, you're doing it wrong. This is what's actually going on. And they're like, kill him. Unless you did that. Ain't no Christ for you. Anyway, you all are on the path of God. You're headed that direction. My only goal here is to give you the truth, because if you're informed, the more information you have, the more informed a choice you make, the better choice you make. That's all it is. I can't, nor do I want to make anyone's choices for them. No, that would that would make it disappear. I just want to give you the knowledge and information because I know you signed up with God. So I'm like, hey, here's all the truth and how to use it in a practical method every day. Very simple. That's the only thing I can do, right? And then it's like, oh, you're good at that. Oh, okay. Oh, you went from sheep to shepherd. Okay, well, you need some shepherd tools, and 6 feet. Pretty much that's the tool of the shepherd. Yeah, it's the stick. Get out of here. Get out of there. You know. Anyway, it's how to recognize which one's a sheep and which one's a wolf. That's what you have to do. Hey, the wolves stay back, dude. Or I want your death. That's it. They're gonna eat what? They eat lambs. I mean, that's what wolves do. Okay. Lawyers are super nervous to know the truth. Of course, they know the truth. Everyone around you. What? How are they gonna let a human loose around you? Is gonna be rare. Why would they do that? That's what I realized finally around me. They're not going to lose one around me, are they? There'll be one that's so far gone into God, they're like, here, give that one to him. They're not going to do anything. They can't even say the name practically. Yeah, send them over there. And then you pray for them and give them some knowledge and information, and they go about their business. And if they resurface and wash up on your shore again, you help them with a little bit more information. And off they go again. And they're like, hey, I got a sail and a rudder. You're like, you got a sail and a rudder for your boat. That's congratulations. It's nice to see you. You're looking better. That's what we could do. Like I'm doing, right? Give them the information. Oh, you're with God? Hey, you know, there's some other things you get. There's some hacks if you're with God, and you tell them they're not interested. Okay, see you. It's not. It's not like drink the water, horse. Can't do it. Cannot do it. You see, if that horse is going to drop dead from thirst standing next to the water. How is that on you? That's on God and the horse. That is not on you. Okay, so be the example, continue to live your life, do the best you can. That's all we can do. And y'all are doing that, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Don't it ain't about the scripts, it's about your day today, right now, and who's coming down the road and being with God and know they're just driving down the road to test you. And the test is finite, less than 9 years left. And that's what they're here to do. You're just with God and doing your best. Okay. That's the game. That's the freedom. That being in the game dome and playing the game. That's the freedom we got. Flipping on tables on baggage. I noticed that, Mike. That's why I'm like, yeah, get that man in here. I like his style. I like his God and I like his style. Get him in here. All right, everyone. So, coming up on the new year, I try to give practical advice so your new year can just the only goal is to make it to God, and have that your individual experience of, wow, I like you went to sleep, right? You don't see here and you see God. That's it. And that reforms the foundation of reality that you meet with God individually. That's all I'm trying to do is give you the knowledge of the framework so that you can have that experience. Not through me, not with me, that you have that with God is our only goal individually. So okay. And I know some of you have had it, and all it does is, as Mary Baba said, make that longing, that craving even more. So continue with that, and it will happen. All right, and only take the truth. Use that as your yardstick, and your anxiety, your difficulties, and so will come down because you're not letting them in anymore. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks for the support. Happy New Year. These are practical changes to use in the new year. We have loved ones to watch over and our shows, right? God's loved one. That's you and me. So we're loved ones. But we also have other loved ones to watch over. We have to watch over. So we need to use the things that work, the practical, very simple spiritual solutions, use them. And by using them, teach the ones around us how to use them. Then everybody's cool, everyone's safe, and everyone's happy. That's just so simple. Okay. So keep it up. All right. You're doing really good. Have a happy new year, everyone. Enjoy that time with the family. You change over, new life, new spiritual life just with God. All right. God loves you, and God watch over everyone in here. I'll see you next Sunday at noon. Okay. Thank you for the support.